Wednesday, September the 18th, gang, strict press day. We're gonna do an EMOM today. Let's stay on task, but also, like, that gives us less time. I think I said this last week. That gives us less time to overthink it. And we have one other tool that we can use to make sure you're not overthinking it today, and that's we're gonna just try to stay static for all 8 minutes of this EMOM, where during each minute on the minute, you're gonna do 3 strict presses at what weight you may ask, and that is something between 70 and 80% of the highest weight you got up to last Wednesday. Okay, so, and that's gonna mean a couple of things, and we say between 70 and 80%. Obviously, what we really want and what we really mean more than anything else is that at no point should you be going to failure today. So if you feel like you've chosen a way that might entail you ending up going to failure, then, you know, in as nice a way as I can say it, you have chosen incorrectly. So let's try to do better. Some people are potentially, I'm realistic enough to know that even though I say I want you to stay static for all 8 minutes today, some people may end up doing a little bit of ramping because we've said somewhere between 70 and 80%, and we always leave the door open to you chose wrong on the light side. Like, you went too light and you want to be challenged. You felt like this wasn't challenging enough, so you added a little bit more weight within that 70 to 80% window, and that's reasonable. And we are, if nothing else, reasonable people at Chester Springs CrossFit. All right, what else do we have today? We have a 14-minute AMRAP of some things, a little bit of, I don't know what you call it. Are box jumps gymnastics? They are, right? Box jumps are gymnastics. So we've got a little bit of gymnastics, but more to the point, what we have today is what I like to think of as like a classic intense triplet. And I also thought Monday was a classic intense triplet. I know that the barbell movement changed each round on Monday, but ultimately that was the 21-15-9 is a classic rep scheme. The triplet, you know, the bread and butter of CrossFit, couplets and triplets, they're all gonna feel somewhat like this today. And what I really like about this AMRAP today, 14 minutes, I'll tell you what the movements are real quick. It's 10 handstand push-ups. We've really gotten used to seeing those come up on Wednesdays. 12 box jump overs, which is something we've seen you guys, or, you know, we recognize as a movement you are able to pull out big sets of and really just sustain for long periods of time. So we like box jump overs. It's the kind where you don't have to stand up all the way at the top of the box, so that's helpful. And then we have 14, another one of our sort of bread and butter movements, which is the alternating dumbbell snatch. So here's what I like about this workout a lot. If you are someone who has handstand push-ups, then this is a long enough time horizon where you're really going to be able to get after it today. And if you are someone who is working on handstand push-ups, then yeah, it's 14-minute AMRAP. Maybe you end up with like 2 rounds, but you are afforded today the time, the space to not only work at and chip away at handstand push-ups, even if it's going to take you a little while, but also still probably at the end of the workout feel like, hey, I didn't just waste my time trying to do handstand push-ups. I also got a good workout in, right? And then we have other people who are in between who know the modifications for handstand push-ups. And I just have come to the conclusion that there's really nobody who's going to walk away from this workout today having not gotten a good workout in. Because let's say you have a handstand push-up modification that you've come to know and love and be comfortable with, but maybe it errs on the side of easy. Well, those box jump overs aren't going to be easy, right? All you're doing is getting through that part of it, but then being expected, move on to being expected to do more box jump overs or more of those dumbbell snatches, which everyone can do. You know, the only thing we change or modify about the box jump overs is the height, and the only thing we change or modify about the alternating dumbbell snatches is the loading. And so, hey, that clock is going to say 14 minutes for everyone. I bet everyone gets a solid feel-good workout in today and leaves the box feeling successful about one of the 4 things we do today, inclusive of strict pressing. Just my guess. All right, I just finished up that WOD. 6 plus 14. You know, I will say I think that's going to end up on the more competitive side today, only because handstand push-ups are unbroken for me. I have to say this. This is a less glorified version of I always get this wrong. I believe the workout is called Diane, the one with handstand push-ups and deadlifts. Meaning to say that this is a midline crusher. And so, what does that mean? It means we got to stay tight on things. We got to stay tight on the wall. Got to stay tight when we're jumping. It's box jumps, particularly box jump overs, are a tense, relaxed, tense type movement. Same thing at the bottom of dumbbell snatches. You have to. It's been said ad nauseum at this point. Dumbbell snatches are up there with ball slams and med ball cleans and some kettlebell swings as lighter movements that we can knock out big sets of, but where we can also do it sort of wrong or with bad technique and still get the job done, and no one's the wiser. So you can knock out a big set of 14 dumbbell snatches, and I as a coach might be looking at you and have no idea whether or not you're staying tight in your core. I have to make sure that keep your chest proud and your shoulders above your hips at the bottom of those dumbbell snatches, but also anytime I'm bending over to pick anything, when I'm down there, I'm braced. At the very least, at the bottom of the movement. And if you can do that, you will save your midline for as long as possible. Will it fatigue still? Absolutely. That's the point. But will you... The whole point when I say something is a midline crusher is that we don't want it to get so bad that you have to sit down for a minute. Right? You have to keep kicking the can down the road of self-preservation until eventually the 14 minutes is up and you kept at it. Now, for me, what that means is not coming out too hot, and that should be the case for most people almost all the time, and yet we still don't do it. So it's just a matter of kind of pacing at first. What I really wanted to do today was 2 minutes around. The only, I think, reason that I didn't end up achieving that was because I had my phone on with the clock running. I wasn't actually using the clock. I was just using it to count how many rounds I had gotten. I forgot that I was actually supposed to be using the clock on the wall, and I just got mixed up with my clocks at one point because they both said different things. I was only using my phone to count. In any case, 6 + 14, that's my score. My handstand push-ups are always unbroken. All right, enjoy.